So today we're here at the Omaha Zoo, also known as the Henry Doorly. Sorry, I completely forgot the name, so I'm looking at my map. But it's already insane. There's well over 200 people just waiting outside about 20 minutes before opening, which is crazy. So our first stop is gonna be the Desert Dome here, which is huge, as you can see. So let's get inside before most of the people get in there and see what's going on. So one thing I definitely wanted to touch on was the amazing design of this entire dome. We're walking through these like artificial cliffs that look super naturalistic. We're surrounded by animals on both sides of us constantly. It's just beautiful. You kind of feel like you're in nature. But before more people come in and starts echoing all over the walls, let's go on to the next enclosure. So we just left the Desert Dome, and what's really cool about the Desert Dome is the decorations are amazing, the landscaping is awesome, but there's an under-level part where it's all these caves and these swamps, there's all these amazing enclosures, and there's tons of bats, I think there's like 7 or 8 different species. I really didn't count that much, but down in the caves and the swamps it's really dark, so I try to get some stuff on my phone, since the camera couldn't pick it up. So we'll see if we can put that in there if it works out. But out. But we're gonna look at the map to see where to go next, and we're gonna keep on exploring. So let's go. So we just came out of Gorilla Valley, and it's super cool to see the enclosures there. I'm gonna be saying cool, awesome, and amazing a lot in this video, so I'm going to apologize now. But it was incredible to see all the space that they're giving the gorillas. There's varied elevations. They have these little tunnels for kids to go under so the kids can interact with these little domes that are further into the enclosure. And at one point the gorillas lay on top of the dome just looking at all the little kids. And they had a baby gorilla there that one of the keepers was interacting with, and it was just super cool to see that. So let's move on to what looks like the Stingray Beach and the aviary. So let's get moving. So now we are in the aviary, and this is by far one of the biggest aviaries I've ever seen. It's easily an acre or two, probably more. But so far we've seen waterfowl mostly. But we're getting down to the larger pond area, and look at this. It's beautiful. It all looks natural, and they have a nice stream, the pond going through here. I believe I just saw a flamingo, but I don't have my glasses on, so I couldn't see too much detail. But as we get closer, we're gonna make sure we get tons of footage for you guys. So now we're gonna go walk into the Asian Highlands, and last night when we checked the camera, it said full battery, and then now it's almost dead. So pretty soon here we're switching over to our phones, which luckily our phones actually have good cameras, so that's not too much of a loss there. But let's go in and see how much longer this camera's gonna last. So some of the animals I was super excited to see was the tough deer, and especially the Indian rhino, which is extremely endangered everywhere. And there's so few of them left in the wild, and there's so little of them in captivity that it was super cool to get to see them in person. So here we are at the tiger enclosure, so let's go see the tigers. So behind us here we have a takin and a Chinese goral, and I really love this enclosure here because I know that they're both extremely good rock climbing antelope. Even for being a hoofed animal, you're gonna see how the enclosure allows them to completely exercise and climbing this and using their natural behaviors and natural instincts, which I think is super cool. So we're gonna move on and see what other animals this section has to offer. So now we're here in the African grasslands, and it's gonna be a bit hard to have speaking parts here due to African animals are really popular all the time, no matter where you go. So there's gonna be a lot of people here, and in fact, they're able to find this little spot here to talk was hard enough. But there's a lot of cool, like, rare African animals here, so we're definitely gonna get pictures and videos, but we're just not gonna have a whole lot of speaking parts. But the variety of animals here already, and the little part that we walked is really cool. So we're gonna keep on going and see what other cool animals they have. And behind us we have an enclosure with ostriches and giraffes. And like the story is true of almost every single enclosure here. Look how big this is. It goes all the way from here all the way down there. It's just super cool, and you can barely even see the berry here. You can kind of see the little bit of wire right there, but it's barely noticeable. It looks like a completely open and naturalistic environment. And then over here we have the elephant enclosure, but they're not in there right now. But hopefully we'll stop by later and they'll be in there. And if they are, we'll get footage for you, and if not, then sorry. So now we're here in the live juggle building, and I absolutely love this building. I love how they have the fake trees as a supporting post to blend it in, all the plants and the trees, and then everything here from birds, like race heads of ibises and macaws. Down here there's a river with pygmy hippos, which is really cool. You don't see a whole lot of those at zoos. They have monkeys everywhere that I can see. They have caves and waterfalls and all sorts of cool stuff. And they have all these little trails and tunnels for kids to explore, so the kids get to interact more with the environment. And I just think it's super cool. And next time we're gonna move on down there. Actually, I don't know how much we have up here, but then we're gonna move on down there and get a closer look at some of these hippos. So recently my dad and I had the opportunity to go to the Omaha Zoo, and let me just tell you, that zoo is incredible. My dad and I had a great time there. We were not able to do interviews there, but we had the opportunity to just walk around, see all the enclosures for the first time. And I would highly recommend the Lied Rainforest and the Desert Dome. The Desert Dome was by far my dad and I's favorite enclosure there, or the favorite area. And one thing I really liked was how all the enclosures were incorporated into the backdrop and the decorations in the dome, and how all the rock formations that were up top in the dome were also used by enclosures and decoration underneath. Because when you walk into the bat cave area, I completely forgot what it's called, sorry about that, but there's this large opening upright, so it feels like you're actually in a cave. It just shares space with the Desert Dome up top. So it's sharing space, and it's all incorporated into kind of the same area, even though it feels very separated. And I loved that. I also loved how they actually had rock faces and a cliff in the takin enclosure, because takins are great at climbing, So they really made an enclosure to show off their climbing ability. But I hope you guys enjoy my little tour of the Omaha Zoo. And as always, I hope to see you next time.